How are we looking? There we go. I know. I'm very surprised that I'm back too so early. I'm gonna like keep the ball rolling. I'm gonna try to keep this like a, what's the analogy? Like once you push a snowball off the hill, it just keeps rolling and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Anyways, one of the questions I get most is, as a destination wedding filmmaker, what am I packing and why am I packing it? When traveling out of state for weddings, there's a couple things that make it really hard to do so. One is if you're flying, you can only typically check one bag for free. You can only carry on one bag for free, and then have a backpack on your back for free, which limits the amount of gear that you can actually bring. And so I've limited my gear to what I need and what I want, but I've also found ways that I can bring extra gear in a checked bag that I'm not scared of that kind of, it's always scary checking gear, but I've kind of worked around. So long story short, I'm gonna just go through the gear that I'm currently bringing as a destination wedding filmmaker to every single wedding, and then talk about why I'm bringing that gear, essentially. Starting with my A-cam, and this is like my main workhorse. This is the Canon C80. Now, I use this for a couple different reasons. One, it shoots 6K, it shoots 4K, it has shutter angle, it has time code, it's got the mini XLRs, it's full HDMI. One of the biggest reasons that I'm shooting on the Canon C80 right now is the built-in ND filters. If you're a wedding filmmaker or a documentary filmmaker and you're constantly on the go, it is so nice having built-in ND filters because you can easily change your exposure just by the click of a button. And I have mine set up so that I can do that if my hand is up here, if I'm holding my camera right here. Just with these 4 buttons, I can record, I can pause my focus, I can use my ND filters, and I can change my frame rate with all of these buttons on the side. Moving into the second reason is the amount of customizable buttons that I have on this. When it comes to filming weddings, everything is so go, go, go. There's no time to really stop. You gotta know what you're doing and not question it. And so being able to customize the buttons on this allows me to just know exactly what I'm doing, control what I'm doing, and get it done. Typically with the 24-70, for a long time there, I was raving about the 24-105 2.8. I've switched back to the 24-70 because of size and weight. I'll usually have this handheld, which means I have a V-mount battery on it, but with the 24-105, it got way too heavy. One thing I love about the C80 is I can turn it from full frame to Super 35, which allows me to take the 24-70 from a 24-70 to basically a 48 to 100. So I can almost replicate, you can almost get that 105 feel from the 24-70, which is why, man, I need to clean my glass. Is that a scratch? That's why 24-70, gotta get this, I gotta send this in. My B-cam, I'm actually filming on it right now. It is the Canon C50, and the reason that is my B-cam, hang on, let me rewind. I'm using this almost 90% of the day. I never put this on a gimbal. This is like what I'm rocking with a monopod or handheld just throughout the day. B-cam is this one right here. It is the Canon C50, typically with an EF 24-70, and I'll get to the Y on the EF here in a second. But the reason for the C50 is for the size, the weight, and the capabilities. It shoots open gate 7K, shoots 4K 120, 4K 60, 4K 30, 4K 24. This is my establishing shots camera. I always have this on the Ronin, and I'm getting establishing shots with my C50. I need to stop looking at the screen, so I'm gonna push it back. I'm getting establishing shots with the C50 during the dancing, so during the reception. I typically put 24-70 on this with the 0.071 adapter because it gives it a super fisheye, wide kind of point of view, but if I put the C50 into Super 35, I can get rid of that and use the 24-70 as a normal lens. So because of the size, the weight, and the capabilities of the Canon C50 is my constant B-cam, and it like almost lives on my Ronin throughout the day. I'll get all my establishing shots of the venue or wherever I'm at with it, and then I will set it to the side during the ceremony, and then get like 3 or 4 shots during the ceremony with it, and that's it. On to the next cameras, I'll typically always bring 3 R50Vs with me. 2 of them are my ceremony cameras, and I have these set up as the bride and groom angles. This is getting the groom's reaction as the bride's walking down, and this is either behind, getting a shot of the bride as she's walking down, or I have it set up and ready for the bride's, where the bride's gonna be standing to get her vows when she's talking. If I have the time and if I have the extra shooters, I typically set this one up as that 3rd angle of either behind or the bride's angle. They're so light and so easy to pack that I bring it along in case something is happening with one of these, or with my C50 or my C80. I just have it as a backup in case something's happening. Usually what I'll do is while the bride's walk down the aisle, I will have an R50V with a 35mm VCM, and that'll be getting either behind or the bride. And then on the other R50V, I have a 70-200, and that's getting the groom's reaction, and I'm zoomed in on the groom. Here's the EF lens. This is my 16-35, but I usually use the 24-70. That's what I have on the C50 most of the time. And then I will bring an extra 50 VCM because it's so light and so small as just a backup lens in case something is happening with any of the other lenses. Very big on redundancy. You never know what's gonna happen, so I'm always just bringing backups in case something happens. The drone that I'm packing and I'm using is the Mavic 4 Pro. This is actually my second one. Yeah, I crashed the first one I had in Italy on the day before the wedding. So the morning of the wedding, I had to go and find a second one, and I got the last one that the shop had. If that doesn't say how good this is, then I don't know what will, but the quality of this is beyond anything else that I've ever used. Always super crisp, super sharp. Some people say you've got up to like 15 stops of dynamic range, which absolutely blows my mind for a drone. Audio. I have this Go bags pack that I'm always bringing. I pack everything in these Go bags, like all my accessories. In here, I have a Zoom H1N, I have the Zoom F3, the DJI Mic 1s, and the DJI Mic 2s. 90% of the time, I'm using the H1, and that's because it's 32-bit float, it's super light, it's super small, it's really easy to use. I've never had any issues with it, and it's full XLR. It's a big deal. I have the F3 as the backup. Again, redundancy. So I have this as the backup in case. Usually what I'll do with the mics, DJI Mic 2s, I have them both labeled bride and groom. I will put one on the bride, one on the groom. And then what I'll do with the Mic 2s, or the Mic 1s, I put one on the officiant and then one on a sleeve on the microphone that they're talking through. Again, all redundancy. You never know what's gonna happen. I'm recording every vow, every speech on 4 different devices. That way, in case 1 or 2 of them don't work, I've got a 3rd and a 4th in case something happens. So that's what I'm currently bringing around for audio. And I'll bring all the cords and lav mics, obviously, that I'll need for all of that crap. Now, tripods. I know they're super expensive, but they're super easy to travel with. I have 2 of the Peak designs, one of the carbon fiber, one of the aluminums. It's a little lighter. The aluminum one is a little lighter, but I don't notice a big difference, and so there's no point of me getting a second aluminum one. I have the carbon fiber one and the aluminum one, and one of the reasons I like these the most is because I'm just gonna use the camera that I would put on there. These small rig cages that I put on my cameras are native to that. So I can easily put it in and not have to worry about it falling off. SmallRig has done a really good job building cages and accessories that work with a lot of tripods. I have seen some where it's like a proprietary mount, which I think is absolute bull crap. Like, just make it pretty standard. So that's why I use these, big reason why I use these ones. I forgot about a camera. I always bring a camcorder. That's just to give a really cool VHS, like nostalgic vibe to things. In a large checked bag, that's where I pack my tripods. I also pack 2, these guys right here, SmallRig RT190 light stands. Now these don't go super high, but they go high enough. I think it's like 6.4 feet, 6.5 feet. And on these, I put 2 Godox RS60Rs. The reason I went with the Godox RS60Rs for weddings specifically is because I wanted an interchangeable battery so I could have multiple of them, and I wanted something bright enough that I could add a little bit of light to my reception. I know there's gonna be a ton of people who say, why don't you just switch to Sony and use an FX3? This is probably a hot take. I am a big believer that like the greatest filmmakers, the greatest people aren't just solely relying on the camera for everything that they need. They're controlling their environment as much as they need to. And that's why I bring these, because sure, I could switch to the FX3 or the FX6 or the FX9 or whatever it is, but this has triple base ISO at 800, 6400 and 12,800. So I have the same base ISO as the FX3, but regardless, the image might look good at 12,800 with no lighting, but when I add these, it completely changes the look and the feel of the shot. And so I can keep my ISO low, which is a great perk, but this helps the bride and groom stand out compared to the background because I'm lighting them more than the room that they're dancing in. And so that's why I bring these, because I want to control the environment that I'm in. And they're also small. I mean, this is my 70-200 and this is the light, and it's smaller than the 70-200. And then lastly, I have the RS4 Pro. I haven't yet upgraded to the RS5. I just don't see a need to upgrade. I'm not putting a ton of weight on it, and I don't need the tracker on it. I just think it's pointless. How I pack this all. I put all of the non-essential things in a checked bag, meaning the tripods, the light stands, the lights, the Ronin, my monopod, and then backup, handheld accessories. Those all go in a checked bag because I can still film a wedding without the bride and groom knowing that I'm missing stuff without those things. But those are the biggest things and they're the hardest things to pack. And so I pack those in a checked bag, a big away checked bag with my clothes for the weekend, and I just hope and pray that it shows up, which I've never had it not show up yet. In my carry-on, which is an SKB case, I have all of my cameras and all my lenses. And then in my backpack, I have my laptop and the drone and the controller for the drone. So I know it's like a lot to pack away, but this is kind of just the setup that I've figured out works best for me and for what I'm doing. So yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. It's pretty easy though.